Hello, everyone. Again, welcome to our webinar. I'm super excited and happy to be here with my dear friend, Tomer Zucker, and we're going to talk about From Connections to Conversations, how to build an effective LinkedIn network. What we're going to do today is the following. So we have 45 minutes, actually by now 42. So you will see we will talk very fast. So I recommend not even to blink to make sure you embrace everything we say. But don't worry, you'll have the recording. So if you want to listen later in a slower pace, you're more than welcome to do so. What Tomer will cover will be the why and what behind what stands on building a strong LinkedIn presence, practically why you should be listening to us. And then I will cover a simple 3 steps to build your LinkedIn presence that you can, right after the session, implement immediately. Tomer, please kick us off.
Yeah, thanks, Liat. I'm super excited. I think this is like, we talked about that. This is the first time we are presenting together after so many years that we know each other. So it's really exciting for me. And thanks everybody for joining us today. So 1 minute about myself. I would say with a vast experience in the tech industry for the last 25 years. You can see here the logos of the employers I work with during the years. And currently I'm a marketing advisor working with mainly with startups and tech companies, starting from pre-seed, seed, and above. And also LinkedIn is not only my passion from so many years, but it's also my expertise. I'm consulting for big organizations, small organizations around LinkedIn strategy and content, and also deliver workshops and lectures, and also gain, I would say, a very unique experience around executive-led marketing and founder-led marketing, which we are not going to discuss today. Maybe it's going to be a leverage, but how to create your own persona on LinkedIn specifically, and personal brand. So it's going to be super speedy today, and I hope you will find our gathering today useful for you. So let's jump in. So I don't know if you know that, but this is a question that many of us ask ourselves many times. This is a question I'm getting from many people, almost every lecture or workshop I deliver. And think about that. If you're going to lose 90% of your LinkedIn connections tomorrow, but kept the top 10, would your business suffer or would we actually grow? So it's an open question. I'm going to answer that in the end of the session, so stay tuned. But this is, I think, the foundation of our discussion today. Think about your own connection, the mix of your connections, and what will happen if you're going to lose tomorrow 90% of them. Hopefully it will not happen, but never know. You never know. Okay, so let's keep this question above and alive. And the one thing I would like to say is, I don't know if you know that, but LinkedIn currently have around 1.3 billion of users, something like that. Really huge amount of people and users. But the majority of people are on LinkedIn are Liat. If you can just click the button, don't get offended. But most of the users, not you obviously, because you're here, but zombies. Okay, the majority of LinkedIn users don't really know how to excel on LinkedIn. They don't really understand what is the mechanism or the algorithm behind the platform, how to really engage with people, what to write, how to present yourself. And for them, it's a waste of time. And to be honest, I cannot blame them. If you don't know the rules of the game, it's completely a waste of time. But you are here, and you are here to learn. And obviously, you are not zombies. But I hope that during the session today, you are going to gain additional information and know how not to be zombie. This should be the headline of our gathering today, how not to be zombie. Let's talk about the structure of the LinkedIn network. Okay, it's quite fundamental, but I would like to start with that. So probably you know that, but the hierarchy on LinkedIn is more complex versus other social networks. We don't have like a flat connections. We have like 3 circles of connections. We are starting with the first degree connections. These are the people that directly connected to each other. Let's say Liat and myself and we are first degree connection. So Liat is exposed to all of my activity, and I exposed to all Liat activity, as we can send each other a direct message on the messenger, even without having a premium account. This is the core of your LinkedIn network. Now, the core is the main part of your network strategy on LinkedIn. I will get back to that. We have the second degree connection, okay, the friends of the friends. I see Shani is here on the session today. So let's say Shani and myself are second degree connection. So how we have become second degree connection. We are both directly connected to Liat as a first degree connection. And if you got um, um, in time a like or share or comments from a second degree connection, and you ask yourself, who are those people? How they have reached to me? They have reached to you through your first degree connection. And this is like an important understanding how the structure is working. You are being exposed through your first degree connection. This is like the main channel for you to increase your impact. And obviously we have the third degree connection. Okay, these are the friends or friends and friends. They are quite far from you, but again, you can expose yourself through your second degree connection and your first degree connection. Now, the main takeaway from these three circles is that you need to, I would say, um, choose your friends like in real life. Okay, be very picky and very selective. I will get back in a minute, but choose your friend, because if you are going to choose the wrong friends, the wrong connections, you are not going to multiply your impact. It's super important if you would like to gain visibility. Okay, so this is like the prerequisite to our pitch. You want to gain visibility, you want to gain impact. Then we have groups. Okay, as you know, there is an endless amount of groups on LinkedIn. This is a great way to expand your network. They are not counted as your first degree connection. It is like a separate way to calculate them, but it's a great leverage, a great segue to increase your impact. I personally I joined like 80 groups or something like that. Through those groups, I can get access to many of people, and we have all the rest. Okay, all the billions of users that are even not my third degree connection. So currently on my first degree connection, I have around 30,000 plus 6,000 of followers. Okay, with followers is quite different. It's not like a mutual connection. It's a one-way directional relationship. But if I'm looking about my own assets in terms of the impact, I have like 36,000 of connections and followers. Through them, I can reach to 2.5 millions of secondary connection. LinkedIn doesn't give us any indication about the third degree connection. I assume it's going to be tens of millions. And through the groups, I can reach to additional 5.5 millions of users. So organically, the potential for me is reaching to around 7 millions of users. This is like the potential. Obviously, I'm not reaching with every post to millions of users, obviously, but gaining 10,000 or even 100,000 of views and impressions, it's something that in some cases, not all of the cases, is also related to the number of connections. And then we are getting to one of the main questions we have, is the tension between the quantity and the quality. Who wins? So in contrary to the slide, it's not the quantity, it's the quality. Okay, the quality wins every time, and with the new algorithm of LinkedIn, it's even more important. Okay, the algorithm, the new algorithm of LinkedIn that was launched a few months ago, really fund and prefer quality over quantity. So don't be in this kind of crazy race to gain more and more and more connections. This is not the end goal. If your end goal is find a job, if your end goal is to gain some real business, put your emphasis on the quality. I can tell you that I'm deleting connections on a daily basis just to make more room to new connections that are relevant for me in 2026, because network is something really dynamic. Okay, the way I used LinkedIn 5 years ago doesn't even close to the way I used LinkedIn 10 years ago, and more than that. Okay, so for me, the strategy of the LinkedIn network should be directly tied into my current objectives, whether it's gaining business or penetrating to new markets or getting a job. Okay, so the strategy of LinkedIn is something that is should be very agile, and in this tension between quantity and quality, I'm totally fan of the quality. Let's move on, please, Liat. Now, when I'm thinking about the way I'm structuring my own network, it's always start with the objectives. Once I have a clear understanding of my objectives, then I can expand the network and target the right connections. So I'm starting with the ICP. ICP stands for Ideal Customer Profile. Who are my addressable market in terms of the personas? Let's say CEOs, let's say founders, let's see the buying committee, all the people that can influence the sales cycle. By the way, I'm talking about business, but it's the same for finding a new job. Okay, who is the hiring manager and who can impact the decision of hiring me? The install base. Okay, if I would like to block churn or support the retention. Okay, I will add my own customers, the install base, to my connections, my peers, my colleagues, my friends, other people that support me, amplifiers and connectors, and also ecosystem enablers. Okay, so if you can just go back to not Julia, the way I structured the LinkedIn network, you will find here all those bullet points as part of my first degree connection. Okay, if I'm zooming out to my network, I have around, I would say like 80% of my network is built on two chunks. My customers and prospects, okay, like future customer, potential customers, and the people that belong to my industry, okay, the tech industry, the marketing industry. All the rest, I'm super picky if I to add them or not to add them. And this is the way I advise you to look on your network. So don't just accept any connection request. Don't do that. It will impact the quality of your network, and it will create a gap between you and the possibility you are going to gain your goals. Okay, let's move on, please. Now, once I decided who are my target audience, LinkedIn help us really easy to get them. Okay, I can do some proactive searches, and I really love the LinkedIn search engine. It's quite powerful. Here, it's from the basic free account, choosing the persona. I have many filters to play with. Some of them I can create like more sophisticated query, but this is a great way to find the people, and then I can engage with them. If you have Sales Navigator, like I do, by the way, you have more sophisticated filters to play with and find your accounts and find your lead. And by the way, if you don't know Liat, she is the queen of Sales Navigator. And this is, for me, this is one of the diamonds of LinkedIn. This is like a super powerful tool. And with this tool, I can be very precise in the targeting I'm doing for my organic, and also, by the way, for the paid campaigns I'm doing. So you can reach out, you can target people through your basic account and your Sales Navigator. Now, once you find those people, what are the next steps? So my recommendation is, before you are going to send an invitation or connection request to people, invest the time to learn the targeted persona. Okay, Iliad, if you can click, do some audits on the profile. Good, I'm super happy with LinkedIn, because LinkedIn exposed so many information about the people, so you can collect a lot of marketing intelligence before of meetings, before of interviews, to better understand the people that you're going to address with. And you can also use some third-party tools like social listening and some signals from the market, in order to understand what is the intent of your customers. Find some commonalities with them. Liat, you can speed up. Engage through thought leaders that you know each other, and establish. And this is, for me, this one of the keywords during our session today, is to create this, I would say, level of trust. Okay, trust is the keyword. You want to reach out to people once you establish the trust, and the trust can be created long time before you are going to approach and send a connection request. Okay, so this is like a journey of expanding your network. If we can move on, please. Now, collecting leads and collecting connections, it's only one part of the story, and Liat is going to talk about it later more. But LinkedIn offers us a lot of ways to nurture the connections that we have collected. We can do some indirect engagement with them, okay, through the messenger and other ways. We can provide them value through content. We are not covered today content, but we will offer you something. And again, you can engage with them in so many ways to nurture the relationship with you and your connections, and not leave them behind and only remember them once you need them. Okay, this is not the way to manage relationship with people. So I put here a few practices. You can get back to that with the recording, but very practical ways to engage and re-engage with your connections after you're going to get the first engagement with them. Okay, let's move on, please. Few tips from my end. So first of all, don't expect 100% success, okay? You are going to address people, you're going to reach out to people, you're going to send them connection requests, and you are going to get nothing, okay? It happens. Don't expect 100% acceptance ratio or conversion rate, whatever, unless you are Liat. But most of the people, most of the ordinary people will not get to 100% acceptance rate. So don't be frustrated around that. That's fine. Not all the people are really active on LinkedIn all the time. In some cases, this is not the right timing. They have something else on their mind and whatever. Okay, you can withdraw the connection request and try to reach out with them later on. And maybe you should create your connection like a journey to your next connection request in a different way. You can do some slow cooking. This is how I call that. Okay, and create this kind of trust. So don't expect 100% acceptance rate. Look for signals. There are so many trigger events you can leverage in order to reach out to your prospects in the right time. And again, going back to Sales Navigator, one of the magic that Sales Navigator offers us are the alerts. Okay, so if you have Sales Navigator, you have an access to huge amount of alerts that you can leverage. And even though if you don't have Sales Navigator and you only use the basic and free account, you can find some signals. If someone get promotion, this is like an opening a door for you to reach out to them. If someone publish a post or get interviews or whatever, there are enormous amount of signals out there, and your job is to find the right signal in the right timing and use them as a leverage to make the first engagement. Let's move on, please. And this is my part of the session today, and Liat, please take it from here.
Thank you so much, Tomer, and thank you for all your insights. Guys, if you haven't done it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Tomer, if you will, a preview, but if not, follow him. So following to what Tomer presented of the why we're here and why is it so important, I want to equip you with some specific actions you can take as we finish the session right afterwards. Just a few words about myself. So great to be here and great to collaborate with you, Tomer. Finally, we're sharing the same virtual stage. Hopefully next time it will be on site. I am the lead enterprise account director in LinkedIn in Israel. So I came back 6 months ago from Dublin after spending there 3.5 years in my former role as a senior relationship manager for mid-market and SMB. And now I'm managing all the enterprise for LinkedIn Sales Solutions. So all the big companies that work with Sales Navigator, I help them grow and with enablement. In parallel to that, I do a lot of initiatives of public speaking, as you can see here, and also sessions about business development, how to convert a coffee meeting to business opportunities. And when I don't do the two of those things, I'm running all the time. For 10 years, I've participated in different competitions of ultramarathons in Israel and around the world. The longest one was 200 kilometers. Yes, in one shot. Yes, you do not sleep. Yes, you eat while you run. These are usually the questions I receive. Oh, and this one took 39 hours straight, no stops. Let's get back to our content about LinkedIn. So the 3 actions, the 3 things I want you to focus on and to remember is the 3 C's, which means comment, connect, and check in. All of them tie back to the whys that Tomer shared with us earlier. The first thing is comment. Why is that? Because we all spend loads of time during the day doing this, scrolling, no aim of scrolling, just like looking at things without being intentional. What I suggest to you is, instead of just scrolling with no intention, dedicate intentional time to your scrolling. The first rule of the comment is the 20-10-7 rule, which means the 20 minutes per day you invest in 10 posts of 10 different people, and you comment on 7 on them, at least 7, with meaningful comments. Okay, so saying amazing, great, good luck, no. You need to invest time in reading the posts that people actually posting and commenting with something that is impactful, whether it's an insight, whether it's an open question, whether it's tagging someone you know from your network who can benefit from this post. I want to give you an example. I ran through this post of Daniel Disney. I highly recommend following him as well. And I just highlighted one of my decision makers and one of my customers. I found this post really impactful. I tagged Tommy on the post, and I just said, I believe this will resonate with you. Now, what happens here is that I'm not in touch with Tommy on a regular basis. But the fact that I highlighted him on the post, I literally reached out. I made a connection. I got some FaceTime or like a bit of a reminder of like, hi, I'm still here. We didn't meet in a long time. We don't have anything scheduled in the calendar, but I still got a chance to be in front of his face and give him value with a good post. Another example, Ellie K. Miller, another persona I highly recommend following, really strong around AI. So she published a post about the idea of, it's not about the content we publish, it's more of what we ask from AI to curate for us. Again, same mechanism. I wrote my comment on her post and tagged Lee Afkin, another one of my decision makers, and she replied to my post. So actually, I created a conversation on the go with Lee without having a meeting scheduled in her calendar. So I got a bit of her time. I popped up in her mind, in her day-to-day, and made sure that she remembers who I am. So next time if I reach out, it's not like out of nowhere and it's a cold reach out or like, what do you want? We actually kept in touch on the go. The third example, another page I highly recommend following, Daily Sales. They have really nice posts every day. Another thing, I couldn't agree more with this post, tagged another one of my decision makers, and there you go. He replied, my Polestar, and gave his perspective. So when you do those things, any way you scroll, you want to make sure that you actually reply with something that is insightful, that sparks a conversation. Okay, so keep it in mind. The second part after commenting is connect. You want to make sure you connect with 5 different people every day. As Tomer said earlier, the idea is to keep it quality and not quantity. It's not about doing connect on something that looks automated, but investing time on who are the people you're connecting with. Why are they relevant for you? Are they relevant as a new customer, as someone else to partner with, as the new person you want to work with or for? Keep that in mind when you connect with those people. How you can leverage LinkedIn to make those connections impactful. First of all, add a note for context. So people who have within you LinkedIn Premium or Sales Navigator, you can actually add a short note when connecting. I highly recommend to leverage that because a lot of people will not connect with you if they don't have the context. When you give the context, it actually is like knocking on the door and not just entering their home. Another thing is keep it short. I know that we have a tendency to be really like, let's explain why we're reaching out, the background. No, people have no time, not concentrating. Keep it short and sweet and very concise when you write why you want to reach out, and make it personal. The more, and as Tomer shared, we get a lot of insights from LinkedIn when we do the background check and actually learn about the people we communicate with. We want to avoid the generic messages of copy paste that people feel like it's either an AI or you didn't invest enough time in writing the message. So invest time in doing the research before you reach out to those people, and then the message you write will be specific and personal. We all want to feel seen. That's part of our psychology. Give the people you want to work with or connect with this feeling. A few examples. So what I usually do is I always ask for warm intros. I rarely send cold outreaches because it's just not as impactful. And after I get the warm intro from someone, I immediately connect with this person. So they have the context. As you can see here, hi, Jessica, following to Shahar's intro, I would like to connect and keep in touch. I rarely get a no because they have the flow that we already were introduced. Another thing is to congratulate them. People are being promoted. People are moving to new roles. Reach out and say congrats. And that's usually a good message. It's a positive message to connect with them. And the third thing is following something specific that happened. Daniel Disney that I mentioned earlier, I saw him in a panel in a conference we had in London last year. After the conference, I sent him this message. So it was very spot on and very specific and very focused on him, on why I want to reach out to him. It's not about me. It doesn't matter if I have another interest. When I reach out to someone, the focus has to be on them. The third part, the check-in. Hence, following to what Tomer said, the nurture. What do I mean by that? The check-in is to send 2 follow-up messages every day. 2 follow-ups means that, again, if we go to the scrolling of the feed, I highly recommend you to go to your inbox messages and start scrolling there and find people that you were connected to and you didn't notice that you were connected or you haven't been in touch for a while, and send a follow-up message out of the blue. And why out of the blue? Because you want to reach out to people when you don't need anything from them. You don't want to be in a position that you reach out only when you need something. You always want to be leading with and proactive of delivering value, which requires from you to invest time in thinking and who are the people you want to have around you, but you want to build your network and invest in it, not when you need something. So first of all, you can leverage a hook. Again, those people that you're already connected to, at some point, try to look, okay, what's going on? Something happened within their work. They published something. Leverage a hook that is there to reach out and just say hi and search for opportunity just to connect when you don't need anything from them. The second thing is to revisit the conversation. Sometimes you're in touch with someone, but there is nothing concrete. However, you spoke about something interesting last time you spoke. You can revisit it and build up upon it. And the third thing is to share an insight. When you do things that are interesting, probably other people can leverage it as well from it. So why not sharing it with them? A few examples. So very simply put, congratulations on your promotion. It's always good to receiving messages that are positive. Why not? The second one, and this is something a former colleague of mine sent me, literally reminds me of your strategy. So she took a post that she found interesting, she sent it to me, and then it's like immediately I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And then I looked at the post as well. So I actually contributed to the post as well. So it's like win, win, win. She didn't share much, but the fact that she's like, I thought about you always makes you feel better. And the third, I contacted with one of my decision makers that I haven't spoken to in a while. I ran into this interesting article and I'm like, I know that this is something that is on your table. You're focusing on enablement for SDRs and AEs, and I thought this article will be interesting for you. Just sharing value, not looking for anything else, just putting it out there. You keep the relationship warm and the communication ongoing, even if there's nothing specific on the table. I'm pausing for like 10 seconds. Tomer highlighted earlier, and we want to check if there is interest in the crowd. So we will be happy to run a follow-up session that is focusing, doubling down on how to write an effective content on LinkedIn, which obviously helps significantly in increasing your visibility. If you're interested, please scan this QR code, fill in your details so we can contact you after the session and share with you the details for the upcoming session. So I'm pausing for like 10 seconds to let everyone scan the QR code, and then we'll get going.
I really love the examples that you share with us from your own experience, and I really love your colleagues that are was remembering some of the things you told her, and share. This is I really love it.
Thank you. Yeah, she's great. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing how many people will join us in the next webinar. If you remember, when you registered for this webinar, we gave you an opportunity to ask a few questions. So we took some of the questions that we didn't cover already, because some of the questions we covered through the session. We'll focus on these questions. And of course, if you have any follow-up questions afterwards, you're more than welcome to contact Tomer and myself. We're very responsive, as you've probably seen in the past. So the first question, how much should you engage in comments to strengthen your profile? Simply put, a lot. And that I can say both in the hat as a LinkedIn employee and as a LinkedIn member. In LinkedIn, we want you to stay on LinkedIn. Don't go to any other platform. And the more you stay with us, the more we'll increase your visibility, the more we will want to highlight you, the more we will want to give you space. So the more you're active on the platform, the better. The idea is to move you, as Tomer said, from the zombie side to the main actors and actresses in the scene. So it's not about sitting in the bench and looking at the game. It's being an active participant in the game. Please be active on the platform. You have no idea how much it will help you moving forward. The next question, Tomer, this is for you.
Maybe if we have 1 minute to go back to the first this question, because I think again, thinking about how the new algorithm of LinkedIn behaves, I think the secret lays in the comments. More threads, less likes. So it's super important from any aspect. It's not only about the networking, it's the overall presence of you on LinkedIn and the way we will engage with people. And I would say that we talked about quantity and quality. It's the same for the comments. I know adding comments is critical, it's important, but please, significant comments. As you mentioned before, okay? It's nice to add some emojis, but before of the emojis, add value. It's important. And please don't try to find shortcuts using AI and some automated bots and whatever. LinkedIn doesn't really like it. I would say they're going to penalize you, they're going to punish you, whatever. They identify patterns, and to be honest, it's really easy to identify some patterns of comments. If you have this kind of pods or whatever, they will understand that these are the same comments from the same people, from the same time, whatever. Don't get into that. Please invest time in genuine relationship with real people, okay? And I'm coming from AI company, so I'm a big advocate on AI. But once you are going to establish a relationship, please invest in people, in human beings, and not in AI and bots. That's it from my end.
100%
about comments.
spot on. This question is for you, Tomer. What mistakes should you avoid when building a LinkedIn network?
I think I mentioned that in the beginning. Accepting every and each connection request you're getting. Okay, I see this mistake from many users. Most of them are, I'm sorry to say it, but most of them are zombies, because the more advanced professionals understand that accepting every and each connection request can lower the quality of your activation on LinkedIn. Because, for instance, in the past, I used to work with many developers, but now I'm currently focusing on marketing managers and VP HR and founders. So having like 5,000 of developers on my network doesn't contribute to my goals. So my content, I'm posting on almost on it every day, will not reach out to the right eyeballs, okay? And it's a waste of time. And on the vice versa, my feed is going to be, really dirty with unfocused content from those people. So what I'm saying is just polish your network. I wouldn't say on a daily basis, but from time to time, just ensure that you are on the right direction. So I think this is the main mistake I see. The second mistake is, once someone approved your connection request, you're going to reach out to them and try to pitch them and sell them. Okay, this is for me a big no-no. If I'm going to be approached by someone that like a fresh connection I have, to be honest, in some cases I'm blocking this person. I think this is a very rude practice. I always like thinking about the way we engage with people in real life. Okay, you're not shaking hands with people and try to pitch them, right? Don't do that on LinkedIn as well. So this is for me the second mistake. Liat, if you have something to add on that.
I think the two mistakes you covered are the main things, and also I would say try to keep it approachable and simple.
Mm.
People have the tendency to use a lot of acronyms and write long posts and things that you feel like you come across smart, but practically what it creates, and people will never admit it because it's something that happens in the back of our minds. We don't like to engage with things we don't understand, and we don't like to feel like we don't understand. So we shy back. So using a language that is simple and clear doesn't make you less smarter. Quite the opposite. It makes you more approachable, and that's what people like. So try to keep things simple. It doesn't mean they're easy. Not at all. It means they're approachable. I think
Yeah,
that's the
super,
main
super,
point.
super true. Don't add like cognitive friction. We have more than that. The attention span is getting lower and lower. So let's respect the time of the others. We have, I
Totally.
think, additional question, right?
Yes. How can I shift from representing a company on LinkedIn to building my personal authority? So I think, Tomer, as someone who have a lot of experience in the corporate world and different brands, and now has his own company and doing his own thing, I'm very curious to hear what you think.
Yeah, so I think this is a major event. I would say you need to get prepared to that because if you work for instance for a big company, big corporation like the big logos, I mentioned Microsoft, I mentioned AWS, Liat works for LinkedIn and such, and then one day you are going to open your own business. You don't have the logo that back you up. You need to establish your own persona, your own presence, and it's really, really tough to do that on a day one. You need to plan that ahead, okay? So you need to build your own authority, and building your own authority can take months and even years. If you would like to be a real like opinion leader in your industry, think about all the big shots, all the big gurus, whatever. It took them years to reach to the position that they currently have. So you need to plan ahead. And once you push the button and switch from, for instance, like someone that works for a company to a business owner to a founder, you need to reshape and rebrand your profile, your LinkedIn profile, end to end. Okay, so I planned that ahead. I had like a structured plan about the branding, about the visibility, about the visual identity of the profile, about the way I present myself to the world, the headline, the experience, the about, the project I would like to highlight, the feature section, and everything end to end. It was written in advance, and once I clicked the button, everything was there. Okay, my profile, the current profile that I have, and again, I invite you to connect with me, is very different from the profile I had only like 7 months ago. And what I'm saying is that it's like a significant point in time. Plan ahead. Okay, plan ahead your authority, plan ahead the way you want to be perceived by your ICP, by your followers, connections, and prospects.
I'm letting you close us up, Tomer.
Yeah, so we open up with this question. What will happen if you are going to lose 90% of your connections, right? This is very dramatic statement or question. So what I'm saying, don't worry. Because if you're looking about your Pareto, in any way, 90% of your business will come from 10% of your connection. Okay, so my takeaway from this question or this session today, invest in the right segment of your connection request. It's agile, it's dynamic, it's not the same like you did like a month ago or a year ago, but once you identify your top 10 or top 20 in the Pareto analysis, invest time in establishing real connection with them, engage with them, nurture the relationship, and don't only try to pitch them once you need them. Okay, this is not very smart way to behave. And I think the next slide, it's going to open up like our invitation to have another round. And I would say connections or creating your network in a strategic manner, it's fundamental. But in order to create real impact, you need to create content. You need to be present. You need to share your own voice, your genuine and authentic voice, and you can do that with content. So it's an open invitation for you, and I hope to see you. Both of us hope to see you on the next round. So this is from
Absolutely.
me for today. Thank you so much, Liat.
Thank you, Tomer.